Hello and welcome once again to your favorite show, Colors of India. This week, once again, we bring you an update from all that's happening in the world of culture, and we change the format a little to accommodate the story of Indian craft. So we begin with the reinvention of bronze and move on to some dance and then wrap it all up with cuisine from the Northeast. Moving into a new house or looking for something that is beautiful and useful? Well, join me in my quest for the gorgeous. All that glitters just as in gold, but maybe they are brass. Made using the sand cast technique and with a lifetime guarantee, so much so that after 100 years, it could well fall under the category of antiques. Now, if this isn't a perfect gift, then what is? Inspired by the gorgeous champa flowers, water lilies, betel leaves, grape vines and the Mahabodhi tree, these brass sculptures from Taramba Arts blend function with style.
हमारे डिज़ाइंस हैं, ये डिज़ाइंस बड़े कंटेम्प्रेरी है, मॉडर्न है और आज के ज़माने में जो मॉडर्न लोग हैं वो बहुत पसंद करते हैं। साथ ही साथ ये जो है हमारा जो टेक्निक्स है, ये टेक्निक्स जो है ये इंडियन ट्रेडिशनल टेक्निक्स को यूज़ करके, जिसमें जो हमारे स्किल है, हमारे जो वर्कमैनशिप है, उसको हमने पूरी यूज़ किया है और डिज़ाइंस हमने मॉडर्न डिज़ाइंस डेवलप किए हैं जो आज के ज़माने के लिए बहुत सूटेबल है और लोग पसंद करते हैं।
The mind behind this matter is Chanchal Chakrabartis, a man with a PhD in chemistry who left the world of academics to pursue his dream of creating art. He trained under K.S. Radhakrishnan, a well-known sculptor, and also under John J. Bowman, a jewelry designer. Both these seemingly different streams of art left a lasting impact in Chakrabarti's work, where he blends the techniques learned from one and the details emphasized by the other in his creations.
मैं केमिस्ट्री से मैं अपना पढ़ाई किया हूँ, तो इसलिए मेरे लिए ये अच्छा हुआ कि हम ये केमिकल्स को समझ पाएँ, जिन केमिकल्स के साथ ट्रीटमेंट करके ये प्रोडक्ट्स को फाइनली एक हम कलरिंग फिनिश देते हैं, जिसे पतीना फिनिश बोलते हैं। और इसमें डिफरेंट कलर्स लाइक हमने ब्लूइश ब्लैक या पर्पलिश ब्राउन या ग्रीन ब्लू, ये सारे कलर्स को डेवलप किए हैं, जिससे ये हमारे प्रोडक्ट्स के लुक जो है बिल्कुल ही अलग बन जाते हैं। हमारे यहाँ के जितने भी कारीगर हैं मेरे समझ से वो हाईली स्किल्ड है, उनमें बहुत क्षमता है और वो बारीकी से और बहुत अच्छा काम कर सकते हैं, लेकिन उसमें थोड़ी सी नयापन लाना चाहिए, थोड़ा सा डिज़ाइनिंग में नए डिज़ाइंस लाने चाहिए, जिस बारे में शायद हमारे जो कारीगर हैं वो थोड़ा सा कम है, थोड़ा सा पीछे है।
The summer sun is ferocious, but in a foundry in Gurgaon, under Chakravarti's supervision, Ratan Singh and his apprentice work almost mechanically, creating brass articles. Reta, the soil found in this region, is mixed with molasses, a binding agent, and is packed tightly into a mold box. The pattern and a grafting system are all placed on the sand. Meanwhile, copper and zinc are melted at 900 degrees Celsius and then poured into the mold cavity. When the metal cools, the casting is broken away. Now this is just the first part. The sand casting technique leaves residue on the objects and it has to be removed through a process called grinding. At another studio, trained artists work meticulously to get the desired effect. Grinding is a slow process and has to be done by hand. Post this, the product shifts to another pair of hands which emphasizes the details on each item.
हमारे यहाँ के जो क्राफ्ट और क्राफ्ट्समैन, इनको लोग समझते तो हैं, लेकिन थोड़ा और अच्छी तरीके से समझना पड़ेगा, और हमारे क्राफ्ट को भी और लोगों को भी जो इनसे जुड़े हुए हैं। एक घटना मैं बताता हूँ कि एक बारी मैं एक एग्जीबिशन में हैदराबाद में था। एक सज्जन आए और देखने में बहुत पैसे वाले दिखाई दे रहे थे। उन्होंने आया और अपने घर के लिए कुछ मुझे सजेस्ट करने के लिए कहा, और मैंने उनको एक आइडिया दिया। वो आइडिया उनको बहुत अच्छा लगा। उन्होंने मेरे से ये कहा कि इसमें पीतल कितने का लगा है और इसमें लेबर कितने का लगा है। मैंने कहा कि सर, ये जो डिज़ाइन, ये जो दिमाग से मैंने लगाया है यहाँ बना करके, और आपको पसंद आया, इसके हमारे लेबर के 1/10 भी अगर आप दे देंगे तो वो हमारे लिए बहुत हो जाएगा। फिर वो सज्जन ने समझ गए कि मैं कोई पीतल नहीं बेच रहा था।
Most brass objects are created in parts. The branches, leaves and trunks of the Mahabodhi tree are first laid out on a sheet of paper before they are assembled together through welding. Direct and controlled application of heat ensures that the object is joined together. Post-polish and patina, the betel leaf trivet, the champa leaf pen holder and the Mahabodhi light holder becomes a classy lifestyle product with its essence firmly grounded in traditional Indian handicraft techniques. One of the sad facts associated with Indian handicraft is that it resists change and adaptation. But now we know for sure that it can be changed with a little tweak here and there. Well, it's time for us to go on a quick break here, but I'll see you on the other side in a jiffy. Some amazing dance moves followed by Russian Day celebration. Welcome back. We now look at the expressive medium of dance, which becomes an artist's armor to express her feelings.
Her dance was in the name of the One Almighty, Darshan, a recitation of Rashika's union with the divine power and the many ways of experiencing God. Dedicating a piece to the Vedic Supreme Lord, Vishnu, she greeted the god with the Sanskrit shlokam, Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam.
Everything is science in dance. Surprising. Everything is mathematical, systematic. It has science. Particularly in Bharatanatyam, we move top to bottom. We knew our neck, eyes, nose, lips, mukhabhinaya, and the shoulder. You saw Rashika, shoulder, heart, and the mudras. Everything is exercised.
Mastered the art of Bharatanatyam from Guru Saroja Vaidyanathan, she has been a fine advocate herself, taking forth the art. In the Varnam, she portrayed the many shades of the divine. Portraying different lords through smooth gestures just showed her proficiency in the dance form and perfection in executing her idea.
If I feel a need of thinking off the frame, I will not hesitate, because I want this to reach to the audience, and if the audience and the dancer become distant, then there is no point. I need to reach. The dance needs to reach. Like Alarmel Vandi once had done one piece of Sangam poetry where she said that the sound doesn't have its recognition unless and until it's heard.
Apart from divine, Rashika emoted the subtle yet deep feelings too, like that of a mother. This was presented through the composition of the famous Indian Urdu poet Nida Fazli. Ghas pe khelta ek bachcha brought out the feelings of a mother with her child and how this special bond is greater than any spiritual journey.
The most important thing is that the topic that she selects, it's been we've seen a lot of other choreographies earlier as well, but I think this stood out because it came out from her own experiences of uniting with the divine. So I think it's brilliant. I think she's doing very well. We are very proud to be associated with her.
In the final piece of her repertoire, she brought the viewer to that juncture where the Lord and the devotee become one. A completion of darshan. Here we see the devotee asking Lord Shiva to make her the master of jatis and styles of nritya. And paying a final tribute to the victims of the devastating floods, she performed on Vande Mataram.
The repertoire was an interesting combination of dedication and talent, and the artist had her feet planted firmly on the grounds of tradition. Now, let's move on to more fun things. I will bring you the story of Russian National Day.
On the 12th June 1990, the Russian Federation adopted the constitutional reform proclaiming it as a sovereign and democratic state. Since then, the day is celebrated as Russia Day, where people rejoice in the name of their motherland and the government honors every prominent name with awards for their excellence. Delhi's Russian Center of Science and Culture marked the day with a concert called Gift to Russia.
The goal of our cultural center is to promote people-to-people diplomacy, is to make strong ties between new generation of Indians and Russians. And I dare say that we do it quite successfully, and you may see how many teams, young Indian dance and music teams came today here to express themselves and to make such a wonderful gift to the Russian side.
What better way to celebrate than with children? The Russian Center, along with the Indo-Russian youth clubs, treated the people with colorful performances. Students of Alien Dance Group opened their act with Ganapati, a welcome dance in Bollywood style.
All Indian and Russian youths are liking Western culture. So it's not good to give them only traditional things. They cannot follow it. Just to keep their interest, we try to make the fusions and contemporary dances, Bollywood, traditional dances. Maybe you see here, we try to mix the Western and Bollywood and classical. So we are not leaving our Asian culture. We don't want to leave Western culture also, which new generation like. So there is a place, there is a bridge for the fusion of both cultures.
The stage was a good platform for the kids to perform and pageant their talent. From popping and locking to contemporary pieces, the groups presented a spectacular show for the day. One of the moving pieces was inspired by women and dedicated to Delhi's Braveheart. The Sufi dance, which highlighted love and peace, was another stirring act.
It feels great because it gives happiness to some other country or people, and it's a very good, chance to do something like that in our life.
Apart from Bollywood boogies, the show also had fusion of Western and classical dance by the Neon Dance Group. The children dedicated a special act to the first Russian woman astronaut, Valentina Tereshkova. The piece was on the friendship between space and aliens, also celebrating Indo-Russo collaborations.
It was a lavish celebration on the occasion of Russian Day, and we were sure glad to be a part of it all. Well, it's time for us to go on another quick break here, but I will see you in a quick minute. On the other side is cuisine from the northeastern parts of India. Welcome back. On Food Trail this week, we travel the road less taken and experience a cuisine less savoured. Well, it is the taste of the Northeast on this week's episode, so join me. The uber-chic village of Horskhas has a new ethnic flavour, Rosang Café. But before we sample the cuisine, I suggest we pay the store above the restaurant a little visit, because all good things from these lands far away make it to the shelves here. From beads to colourful weaves and long pie or black stone pottery, everything is exotic and exquisite. The walls of the store and cafe are decorated with photographs of this region captured by the seeking man. The almost rustic interiors ooze style with its simplicity. Traditional fabric used in the seating enhances the focus of the space, while the crisscross wooden ceiling taped with recycled cardboard egg cartons seems like a cool way to upcycle junk.
The cuisine is from 8 Northeast states. After every 4 months, the menu is going to change again and again. 5 signatures of food will remain, and the rest will keep changing because Northeast is very rich in terms of foods. And we source the ingredient and everything, whatever we serve, they are sourced from home. And that also through flight. And they are 100% organic.
This eating joint blends tastes from 8 different northeastern states of India. The collective cuisine of this region is vastly different from the familiar flavors of the rest of our country. They say that the eating habits of Myanmar, Japan and Thailand are closest to the food here. In many ways, the culinary traditions, much like the region, remains a mystery and is sadly often viewed suspiciously. To put your doubts, if any, at ease, let me tell you that Rosang's menu does justice to both the vegetarian and the non-vegetarian palate. For those looking for the former, the Assamese delicacy Mati Dal might be a good beginning. Here, roasted black gram is cooked on slow fire until it becomes a thin stew. Aloo Thama, which is from Sikkim, has fried potatoes served with a bamboo shoot stew. And what is northeastern cuisine if one fails to mention pork? So yes, they have different varieties of it, and what tops the list is Nagaland's special pork curry, which is cooked with dry yam and bamboo shoots. The Manipuri chutney iromba might just be the perfect accompaniment.
I was recommended, by a friend to come here, and our experience has been really positive because the ingredients that they use and I guess the preparation overall is really fresh, and that comes across in the food. The aroma, there's a lot of spices and leaves that are used to add flavor to the curries that we've been having and to the pork that we had before. So it's overall, it's, I would say, more flavorful than most of the northeastern food that I've had in this city.
I decided to start my meal with Rosang's signature pork dish, the pork spare ribs. The meat used to prepare this dish is taken from the belly side of the rib cage and is therefore flatter and tender than back ribs. This crisp, deep-fried treat was served with fresh-cut vegetables.
It is a little hard on the outside, but then inside is absolutely juicy and succulent and really, really well cooked. And all the flavors just burst right through. I absolutely loved it with this very spicy and hot chutney.
The main course was just tougher to decide. I zeroed in on the wild red rice, which is a highly flavorful variety seen exclusively in certain parts of Manipur, and I decided to pair it with the kukura masu, a thin Sikkimese chicken curry that is prepared using tamarind and coconut. I also opted for the uti, which is vegetarian gravy made from dry green peas. And then there was the Naga bamboo shoot chutney.
The thali I have here is a riot of flavors. There is the dal, which is very, very creamy and thick and very less on spices. And then there is the chicken curry, which is very familiar to me because I've tasted similar flavors in the cuisine of the southern part of India. But then again, it is very light. The masalas are not heavy, but then the flavors are. And then there is the chutney. My goodness, it is made using the king chili, which is this one, and it's horribly, horribly spicy. So it is a perfect blend of creamy, flavorful and spicy cuisine. And then there is the red rice, which is very, very high on iron content and is supposed to be absolutely good for women, both young and old.
After a meal like this one, which is light on the stomach, heavy in terms of the fresh flavors, and gentle when it comes to pricing, a dessert is definitely on the cards. A bowl full of kheer prepared using red rice seemed like the right choice.
Now, I have already mentioned that the red rice is good for your health, which is why I ordered the same kheer. So it is wild red rice kheer. It is a mildly sweet dish, but then there is a topping of coconuts and raisins, which adds to the extra flavor and the crunch. And while I get back to my kheer, it's time for me to say goodbye to you. I will see you next week on the same show. Do remember to write to us through our Facebook page. Until later next week, goodbye and take good care.